Good morning, crochet friends. I am here for another video for you guys. If you're new here, my name is Tasha and I'm the maker behind Crochet by Tasha. And my favorite type of video is one where there's some kind of a theme or some kind of a pattern where I make a bunch of something and then I get to share all the patterns with you and what I thought about it. It also gives me an opportunity to stock up my inventory. So I had this idea to go out and find some really cute swinging characters or swinging animals patterns and try them out. I've never made a swinging animal pattern before, but I have purchased the patterns before, but just never made them. And I really want to have a display at my next market where I have a bunch of these swinging characters because they seem so cute and popular, and I think they will appeal to a wider audience than just like a plushie sitting on a table. So I have been doing lots of research and gathering lots of cute patterns, and I'm excited to share them with you. Some I'm just gonna show you, other ones I'm going to make and then show you, but it should be a lot of fun. So let's get started. Okay, the first pattern that I'm gonna share with you guys is a 3-in-1 bundle, and it is by a maker called Yuri K. And it's these 3 little swinging characters. It's a pig, a unicorn, and a cow. So I'm gonna try these out. And one thing I noticed about the swing is that the swing is a circle rather than a rectangle. And that is something for me to think about. I thought I could make all the characters and then like make all the swings at the same time, but the characters really do have their own unique swing. So that's something to think about. So I did actually start making these already. I've made 2 of the pigs. I think they are so cute. One thing I noticed about all of these patterns, they all are around 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes to make them. And then the second time, of course, is much faster. I used Naughty Ball yarn to keep them nice and small, or I used Premier Parfait, but both would work really well. I think Posh would also work really well. So I've made one of the swings, and I'm gonna show you guys what that looks like. I haven't woven any of the strings in yet, but this is what the swing looks like. It was super fast and easy to make. I'm gonna keep all of the strings about 60 chains. I noticed 60 chains is pretty common in these swings. That way when I hang them from my display, they will all hang about the same length. So you can see this one is just 1, 2, 3. I made 1 extra round on this one just so that it would be a little bit sturdy. This was the original pattern. It's just 1, 2, 3 rounds. And then this one, I added an extra round just to see if that allowed it to sit a little steadier. Sometimes swinging characters will fall forward. So it's gonna sit like this. It gives it a little bit more of a base. So this is what it looks like in the larger swing. And then now I'll put him on the smaller swing. And then I'll fix all the strings and show you what it looks like. So you can see when he's sitting on the smaller swing, it doesn't give him as much of a base. So I think moving forward, I will always add that extra round to the circle. One thing I noticed about this pattern is that they want you to sew the chain onto the pig, where some of the other patterns that I've been looking at, the string actually goes through the little bobble stitches on the side. I really think I'm gonna prefer the part where the needle just goes through the bobble stitch rather than having to sew on. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these 2 pigs together and show you what they look like. Here's my little cow on his swing. What do you guys think about me using the same color swing for all of the characters? I think it might give continuity to the display rather than having a bunch of different colors. But when I was looking at the unicorn, I thought, should I do the unicorn like a fun color? But the unicorn is so colorful that I thought, you know, he doesn't really need a colorful swing. So here's my cow. He's staying upright. I added that extra row. The extra row is a single crochet, double, and then repeat all the way around. So that's how I was able to make that extra row. So I'm gonna add my cow to the display. And then now we're gonna move on to the unicorn. This is the unicorn. It's my favorite one out of the pack. He was a little more work because you have to make this little tiny horn, and I had trouble with that. I think it would probably work out better if it was a worsted weight horn, and then you add the hair. I didn't add a whole lot of hair because he's just so tiny, but in the pattern, she added extra hair coming down the back. But just so cute. I love just a little blue detail in the front, and I think that this is gonna be a hit. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the swing for this guy, and we're gonna get him hung up. I just finished up the unicorn, and I love the way she turned out. I think that the way I tacked the swing onto her is a little bit better than the way I was doing it before. So her bobble stitches are pretty low, and if I sewed on to the bobble stitches, then this would definitely fall over. It's pretty top heavy. So instead, I just tacked it a little bit higher. I think it's okay as long as it hangs. It doesn't have to look like the unicorn is hanging onto the swing with its hands. So I just tacked it a little bit higher. I did that extra row on the swing, and I think that gives this unicorn a lot of stability. But this pack was really cute. I would definitely recommend it. And now time to move on to the next pattern. My camera died, so we're going to give it a minute, but I don't want to stop because I'm on a roll. So the next pattern pack I'm going to show you guys is by All From Jade. And it's this adorable pattern pack that has 8 different little swinging animals. There's a frog, an otter, axolotl, walrus, a penguin, a turtle, a mallard duck, and a seal. And I think they're so cute. I've already made a few of them, and I'm gonna show them to you. The first one that I made is the frog, and I actually had already made his swing because I was just like too excited to get started. So I made it with this teal Premier Parfait yarn, and I made him in this really pretty lime green color. But then I also made him in another color. I also made him in this color, which I really like this a lot. I think I prefer this size over this size. I think this yarn is just a little bit smaller. So I need to make the swing for the frog. I also made the seal, which I just love. Look how cute this guy is. So super easy. I just used white yarn, and then I used one of my little felt puppy noses for his nose, and then embroidered in between. And then these are actually just bobble stitches that are in the round. So super easy pattern. There's no sewing involved. I think that this one's gonna be super popular. Its tail is supposed to curl up a little bit. So when he sits on his swing, hopefully that works. I had made 2 mallard ducks because they were just so easy, and I know these are gonna be popular. So I went ahead and made 2 of them. I think this is one of my favorite ones so far. If you've made any squish birds, then you know this pattern is so easy. Okay, I made 2 turtles, and I actually messed up on this one. I need to go back and embroider his feet. I forgot to color change when I did his bobble stitch feet, but this is such an easy pattern. You make the head first, and then you start to make the shell, and then the head just crochets in the round. And then you just finish him up, and he's super quick and easy. And I can't wait to see what he looks like on a swing. And then this guy is the same thing. I think I used Naughty Ball for his. I think they're both Naughty Ball. They're just different colors. And then I just need to go over his little feet with green yarn. So he's super cute. And then the last one in that pack that I made was a walrus. And I think I still need to make the penguin. Look at the walrus. Oh my goodness. I struggled a little bit with these tusks because when I was making them, they almost need to be with worsted weight yarn. They just are a little bit difficult, but he's a similar pattern to the seal. You can see he's very similar. They have bobble stitch arms to hang onto the swing. And then I need to make his tail go up a little bit. What you do is you pull your needle through the bottom, and then you just go through another stitch and you slowly start pulling up, and then it makes it like curl up like this. So the last one I need to make with this pattern pack is the penguin, and then I'm done. And then I also need to make a swing for my little axolotl. Look how cute the axolotl is. Like, I'm gonna have to make a lot of these because this is gonna be a popular one, I can tell. So I need to make swings for all of these animals, and then I'll get them hung up on my display. But look how cute they're looking over here. I really like that all of the strings are the same color. I think that's gonna be really nice. In fact, I might take the swing off this one and just make a new one. You can see that this pattern design is going to be a rectangle instead of a circle. And then I might add the extra row like I did with the circle to make them a little more stable. So I'm gonna make some swings and I will catch back up with you guys in a minute. It is the next day. It is Wednesday, April 24th. And I have been working on my All From Jade swinging water animals set, and I'm really excited to show it to you guys. I've made all the swings, and I've also made multiple copies of them, and they are so cute. So I'm gonna show you the design, the swing design that she came up with. This is the base of the swing. It looks like a rectangle, super easy. And then 60 chains connected with my hook. And I'm gonna show you why I like this design better than the circle design I showed you before. Now that I've put these together, I can see why I like it so much. So I'm gonna go underneath this bobble stitch right here. Now this does work if you don't have a bobble stitch, but it's not as easy to get the yarn through. And then we're going to secure this with my thumb. Now I'm gonna go around to the other side, take my hair off of it. And now I'm gonna go through this bobble stitch. Now the reason why I like this so much is because it allows you, and now I'm just going to sew it onto the end of the swing. It allows you flexibility to tighten the swing. When I use the round swing, I noticed the character tended to fall forward. But when I'm using it with this design, it doesn't fall forward. So now I'm gonna take these strings and just tighten them up a little bit. And now the last step, and I don't know if she has this in the pattern, but I like to do this, is I go through the bottom. Oops, that's too far away. I go through the bottom and tack it down twice just to make sure that it is secure. So I'm gonna go in here, out the back in the same hole to the other side, and then one more just to make sure it stays, and then I will trim that. And then what I'll show you is that it is now secure. So you just tug up on those sides, adjust the swing a little bit, and your swinging penguin is all set. I'm just going to weave in this last end, and then I'm gonna show you guys all of the ones that I made from the All From Jade Water Animals collection. I told you guys I wanted to stock up on my swinging animals because I've never made them before, and I'm really excited to have a new display at my next market. And so I made 2 penguins. I have to make the swing for this one, and I have to also embroider the beak. This bird was so easy to make. I think I made it in like under 10 minutes. All of the swings, now that I've gotten the hang of it, the swings take no more than 3 or 4 minutes. I took this penguin pattern and I made it into a yellow chick. And I actually ended up making 3 yellow chicks. I started off with this yarn, which I think is, I'm not sure what kind of yarn that is. It's all like chenille yarn. So now I have 3 chicks and 2 penguins. And then the next one that I made was the mallard duck, which is basically the same thing, except you do the mallard color changes. So I made 2 mallard ducks, and then I'm gonna show you the 2 axolotls. I tried to make at least 2 of all of them, and then the ones that were like super easy to make, I definitely want to make more of this axolotl. I feel like it's gonna be popular. And then I made 2 seals. I ran out of this yarn. I was actually not here and I was somewhere else, but I had some of this dark brown yarn. So I went ahead and used that for the second seal. I love the way the seals sit on their swing with their tails like tucked up. And then I only made 1 walrus, but I should probably make a second one. And then I made the otter. I think the otter might be my favorite out of all of the swinging animal water sets by All From Jade. Look at his tail. And then I made 2 turtles, which I already showed you. And I still need to embroider the feet correctly on this one, although I think it looks okay the way it is. I think I could sell it like that. And then I made 2 frogs. I made one in this Premier Parfait yarn, and then this, I can't remember what this yarn is called. Now that I've balled all my yarn, I have no names on anything, which is not good. But I really like this color the best. And I also like the size that it came out. So these are all of my All From Jade swinging water animals. I'm going to hang them up on my display behind me, and we're gonna get on to our next pattern. Pattern that I'm going to be looking at is by Crochet Friends AU, and it's these adorable puppies, and they're on keychains. So I had an idea of putting these little puppies on a swing because they are just so cute, and I think that people would really like them. So let me grab them and show you guys how they turned out. So far I have made 23 swinging animals or creatures, and I feel like I'm on a good roll. This has only taken me a couple of days, and you can see behind me how adorable they are. This is the only way I can prop it up, so I hope you guys can see it. But I made these little puppies. I made the same swing design. It's just the rectangle on the bottom. And these puppies were so easy to make. You start from the front and you work your way back. The ears are crocheted in the round, the bobble stitches are crocheted in the round, and the tail is crocheted in the round. So everything's super easy. And then I just embroidered the nose, and I think they turned out really cute. I used these kawaii eyes to give them a little more character. My mom said that she loves the eyes. They almost look like they're floating or like they're on like Aladdin's magic carpet. That's what they kind of remind me of. They're a little bit bigger than my other characters, but I think they are so cute, and you could really, changing up the colors, you could do like a Dalmatian, you can do lots of different fun things to make these really cute. So I would definitely recommend this pattern for swinging animals. Our next pattern is a very common, popular pattern, and it is the swinging bee. This pattern is probably going to be very popular, and it's going to be very easy to make, to be a great market make because they are so fast and easy. But this is the swinging bee. It's by Close Knit Crochet, and it is a paid pattern. And I'm going to show you guys how it turned out. They're super tiny. I think this would be a good candidate for the round swing rather than the rectangle swing, but since I was making so many rectangle swings, I just went ahead and finished. I also did not finish making the wings on this guy, but you can see them in this one. They're so cute. This is such an easy pattern. Everything is crocheted in the round except for the wings. I surface crocheted. She crochets the wings separately and sews them on, and I just did like giant bobble stitches in the back just to make it simple. But look how cute. I made brown and yellow ones, but I think I would like to make some rainbow bees or some black and yellow bees, and these are definitely going to be a big hit. This is one of the market makes that I would recommend. Okay, the next pattern that I tried out is by M Cozy Creatures, and it's this adorable little chicken on a swing. And I've seen some chicken patterns where it looks like it's in a nest. This one is actually a very similar swing to the one that I have been making. And I decided to go ahead and make 3 different colors just to see how it looked in those 3 different colors. The first one that I made is white, and this is a very standard chicken pattern. But one thing that is a little bit different about it is that when you get to this round right here at the very top, you actually you do like a single crochet to close so that you have like a small opening here and then a larger opening here. And then you continue to work the head, which is very similar to a baby squid pattern that I've made before. And then you just close up the body like normal. So what's kind of nice about this pattern is that it gives it a head. And a lot of the chicken patterns don't have that. So I made this one in white with a red comb, and then I decided to do like a chocolate brown swing. And then I made a dark brown chicken. Excuse all the little fuzzies all over them. I haven't taken those off yet. Okay, so dark brown chicken with a tan swing. So those are really cute together. And then just for fun, I decided to make a pink chicken in this really bright naughty ball color with a tan swing. So here are my 3 chickens, and I think they turned out really cute. You know, you do have to use chenille yarn or they would come out humongous, but there's probably a lot of different variations that you could use with these 3 little chickens. I have another swinging cat pattern for you guys that is so cute. It's by Yuri K, and I'll make sure that I put it on the screen. And it is on Etsy, And it is this more detailed cat pattern than the one that I showed you previously, and it has a little curly tail in the back. And the difference between this pattern and the last one is that this one has arms that kind of, they're like crochet out in the round, and I think they're supposed to hang on to the swing, but I just really like this design of putting the swing in the body and then being able to pull it tight. I really think this guy would fall forward if I didn't. I gave him a little triangle nose, some whiskers, and some safety eyes, and I think he's so cute. I want to make a one with maybe some variations to it, like some spots or some stripes, but he's so cute. Very easy to make. It took a little bit longer than the last pattern, but really cute, and also kind of big. Came out kind of tall. The pattern that I tried out was this really pretty kitty pattern. It's Kitty on a Swing, and it is by Lynn Cole Handmade. They are so cute. Look at them. There's like there's several different variations. You can do the spots, and where you can do like a solid kitty. So I went ahead and did one of each. This is the first one that I made. Now these are a little bit bigger than some of the other swinging animals that I've been making. And it took me a little bit longer to make it as well. This one, I think I did not do the tail correctly, so I need to tack that down, because if you look at the picture, the tail is supposed to hang down at the very back, and mine is like going off to the side, so I just need to tack that down a little bit. But you start at the bottom, you work your way up, you do like 2 medium bobble stitches, 2 little bobble stitches, make your way up. You do 2 more bobble stitches on the side, and then you close it up when you get to the top. And then we surface crochet the ears, and then the tail is crocheted separately and sewn on. So he looks really cute. I decided to give him cream paws and a cream tail and 1 cream ear just to add a little bit of interest. I also, when I brought the swing up on the side, I made sure it was pretty high because he seems like he could easily fall over. I also did a velvet kitty nose. And then this little guy, I think, turned out a little bit better. It's just 1 single color, but I sewed the tail on correctly on this one. And then he just came out a little bit smaller. This is made with Naughty Ball yarn, and this is made with Premier Parfait yarn. And then instead of using the triangle safety nose, I went ahead and embroidered, and I also used 16mm sinker eyes. I really like the look of the sinker eyes with this cat. I think he's really cute, and I like the solid black color. I just gave him little white whiskers to finish him off. So 2 little kitties to add to my collection of swinging animals. And the next one I think I would like to make is orange and white. Maybe like a white cat with orange spots, or an orange cat with white spots. So yeah, super cute. The next pattern pack that I have for you guys is a pattern pack, and it is by All From Jade, and it has some winter holiday characters. There's a reindeer, a snowman, a turkey, a gnome, and a polar bear. So I decided to take this pack, which I had purchased a while back, and I decided to make the gnome. Her gnome looks tiny. My gnome turned out huge. So cute, but huge. So I don't know, I used Premier Parfait yarn. Maybe I used a hook that was too big, but I still think he turned out really cute. I made his body in black. What you do is you make the hat first, and then you flip the hat upside down and do front loop only, or back loop only, front loop only. And that's how you make the body, and the beard is made separately and crocheted in the round. This bobble stitch nose is crocheted in the round, and all the other bobble stitches are crocheted in the round. So overall, it's a really easy pattern, super cute. I don't know if I want to make a bunch of them because it did take a while, but I just wanted to try it out for this video and just kind of see what I thought about it. I think it would be cute to add some details to his hat, like some stars or some flowers or some kind of detail. Okay, the other part of this pattern pack that I made was the polar bear. So I made the polar bear. I gave him a little red scarf. It's like a reddish brown scarf, and I think he's so cute. He has all bobble stitches, so bobble stitch, legs, tail, and then 2 arms on the side that the chain goes through, and then his ears were crocheted, surface crocheted, and then his nose is embroidered. So I think he turned out really cute. So because I made him, I then wanted to make a brown bear. So using the same pattern, I made a brown bear. I messed up on his ears a little bit. This one looks like it needs to be fixed. But overall, he's cute, so I'll put them side by side so that you can see the difference. I'm noticing that this polar bear seems to want to lean forward a little bit. But overall, I think they're really cute. You can try different variations to make different types of bears, but I think they're really cute. I decided not to give the brown one a scarf so that he just looks like a brown bear, and I really like the way he turned out. I gave a little detail to his nose to make it look like a bear. You can see his little tail in the back. So yeah, I think these are really cute at Christmas time. I definitely want to try to make the other winter characters for this Christmas pack. The next pattern that I want to show you is by Crocheting by Nicole, and this is actually a bunny pattern that I made around Easter time and the spring. And I'm just kind of looking through all my little small patterns to see what would be cute on a swing, and I feel like this one really would be. So I went ahead and made one of the little bunnies. I used Premier Parfait yarn and a little bit of pom-pom yarn for the face, and I also used kawaii eyes, but look how cute this is on a swing. I mean, what an adorable little pattern for a swing. So my recommendation to you is to look at some of those smaller patterns that you have and consider putting them on a swing. You don't have to go out and purchase additional patterns that are made for swings. Once you figure out the swing pattern, it's really easy to really adapt it to anything. So these look so cute. So you guys, I'm up to 34 swinging animals that I have made. I will show you. The next pattern I have for you is by Sweet Brie Creations, and it is a free pattern on Instagram for a Kirby. I know you guys have seen lots of Kirbys out there, but this one is the most adorable squish Kirby. And I added little kawaii eyes. And essentially, it's just like a really squishy light pink ball with 4 bobble stitches, 2 on the sides to hold the swing, and then 2 hot pink ones in the bottom. I could not resist adding a hot pink swing instead of brown. It just was calling for it. So here we have 2 little pink Kirby swinging Kirbys, and how funny that this one turned out significantly bigger than the one on the left. I don't know why that is, but it did, and I'm excited to add this to my collection. And I can see myself making a whole bunch of these because they are so easy, and I know they're going to be super popular. So go check it out. Well guys, that finishes up my collection of hanging animals and other creatures, and I hope that you enjoyed all of these ideas. I made over 40 hanging or swinging animals, and I'm super excited to take this display to my next market. What was your favorite swinging animal? And if you guys have any great ideas for other swinging characters or animals, put it in the comments down below so that we can share even more ideas. And I had so much fun creating this video for you guys, and stay tuned because I know I'm going to be making another video like this because I found so many swinging characters that I didn't even try out yet. So thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.